Hey man, haven't seen you since high school. How you going?
Good, good. I started following this new philosophy, Epicureanism.
Oh really? I started following a new philosophy as well, Stoicism. What's Epicureanism like?
Epicureanism was started by Epicurus and is a philosophy that embraces living in comfort with pleasure and avoiding discomfort. What about Stoicism? What's that like?
Stoicism is about enduring pain without complaint and displaying the feelings these emotions produce.
That sounds stupid. Why would you endure pain when you can have all the pleasure you want?
It's helped me greatly in life, and I've felt much better since adopting it. Stoicism helped me maximize my positive emotions and reduce my negative ones because of my calm demeanor.
That's so stupid. Why would you voluntarily endure pain?
Why are you so angry? Epictetus says, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him. I also don't actively accept pain, but I know that I can control things that will happen to me that are painful. Epictetus says, any person that is capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you can permit yourself to be disrupted by him. I also don't actively accept pain, but I know that I can't control some things, and that will happen. And some things that are painful will happen, and I can't avoid them.
I have gotten worked up. You're right. As Epicurus says, we must, therefore, pursue the things that make for happiness, seeing that when happiness is present, we have everything, but when it is absent, we do everything to possess it. I have gotten worked up for no reason.
Well, I'm interested in Epicureanism. What does death mean in Epicureanism?
In Epicureanism, death does not concern us. A good quote to sum up what I think of death is Epicurus once said, "Death does not concern us, because as long as we exist, death is not here. And when it does come, we no longer exist." Meaning that I don't worry about death, basically. I also don't believe in an afterlife, so we may as well live the best life whilst we're here. What does death entail in Stoicism?
I actually believe that we have very similar views on death, with death being inevitable and outside of my control. My viewpoint in death is entirely controlled by myself, so I have to learn to accept that as part of nature. The fear of death itself brings misery. A good quote from Marcus Aurelius says, "Death is a release from the impressions of the senses, and from desires that make us their puppets, and from the vagueness of the mind, and from the hard service of our flesh." Although a big disagreement I have with your view of death is afterlife. I believe that there is a life, and that our soul goes back into the earth, into the divine fire.
I agree that living your life to the fullest is a great area where our philosophies are similar. Although once our life is over, it's over. Death is complete extinction, and there is no afterlife.
Whilst our philosophies are similar about death, death is not the end. Our souls are immortal, although unlike the common man, I don't believe in a tangible afterlife and punishment or reward for our behavior on earth.
It seems we've come to a disagreement, although I'm interested in what your personal opinions on love are, because, well, Epicureanism believes that love can be painful, so many of us choose not to find a wife.
Many of us Stoics do find a wife, however we believe that love must be viewed from a logical and philosophical outlook. Because love can lead a person to make stupid decisions, it's important to understand your feelings and not let your emotions dictate your actions. As Epictetus once said, "Unhappy man, who are the slave of even a girl. Why do you still call yourself free?" In saying this, I do have a wife myself, although I do not let her control my emotions.
We seem to have similar views on love. Epicureanism is actually very strongly against love, because although love may lead to immense pleasure, love can also lead to many different causes of different pains. Epicureanism accepts that love is amazing, but it's not worth the potential downfall if it doesn't work out. People kill themselves over it, so no matter how great the pleasure is, it's never worth the pain. I think a quote that sums up my viewpoint of love is said by Epicurus. All other love is extinguished by self-love. Benefits: humanity, justice, philosophy, sink under it.
I mean, besides our discussion about our different psychologies, how's life been?
After high school, I never really had a job, and instead just lived out my best life with my friends. My parents paid for everything, so I never really needed to work, and I still don't. I've written a couple of books about my lifestyle for people who want to emulate it. I've made a lot of friends over the years and keep in good contact with them. What have you been up to?
After high school, I went to university to study law, and I'm starting at my own law firm. It was a lot of hard work, but it's worth it. I never flung around with a bunch of different girlfriends, and I found someone I really liked and made her my wife. And now I greatly enjoy the role of parenting.
Well, hey man, I'm happy for you to summarize my philosophy. I'd like to end in a quote by Epicurus. It is impossible to live pleasurably without living prudently, and honorably, and justly, or to live prudently, and honorably, and justly, without living pleasurably.
I'd like to end this conversation with a quote as well. This quote's from Epictetus. Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want them to. Welcome events in whichever way they happen. This is the path to peace. Anyways, later man, good to see you.
Later.